No, it doesn't, because he's not going to do anything nefarious with this information. It's almost as if you're doing an accounting for
Verified that the FBI might have the internet. I mean,
No, I'm terrified.
I don't
I'm terrified
understand.
that the FBI. I'm terrified. No, I'm terrified that Elon Musk.
The ideology of the Republican Party right now, it is best described as enforcement of common sense. We have you want to continue.
I'm for a tax code that doesn't explode the deficit and actually benefits working people and business, and not just the richest people. Like, by the way.
Hello, everybody. Guys, let's get right into this panel. Republicans, this is unbelievable. They must think the rest of us are just as stupid as the people that they believe their voters are. Like, I can't believe this works on MAGA. Check this out.
Well, I'll start with you. I just want to go back to the sort of line of questioning with Kristi Noem that I had about just square the circle on Republican credo here for me, because I understand that it's on the one hand, Washington bureaucrats, deep state, whatever it is that you call it. But on the other hand, the notion of him really accessing personal data, a lot of information, and doing we don't know what with it, that doesn't give you concern?
No, it doesn't, because he's not going to do anything nefarious with this information. It's almost as if you're doing an accounting, a forensics accounting of a company. You need to have access of everything in order to say we should make cuts here, or this is ineffective or inefficient. He's doing what the president has mandated for him to do, in part what the American people expected Donald Trump to do. And as it pertains to Democrats, Democrats have had every opportunity to come to the table to offer a solution to cutting government spending. Once upon a time, they actually believed in that. Instead, all I have heard is whining, complaining about what Trump is doing, what Elon Musk is doing. The American people every single month, Dana, has to balance their budgets. They have to see how much money they can afford to pay for certain things and how much they have to cut back. Why shouldn't the federal government do the same? You would think that my Democratic friends would agree with that. Yeah. And I have seen the exact opposite.
Go ahead.
I can't stand how he talks. He talks like if everyone if everyone on the left is an idiot. You know what we're complaining about. He's cutting blindly. He's not looking at where we can make cuts. I think most Americans would think that's fine, as expressed by Democrats over and over. But that's not what he's doing. He's just wiping out whole departments, like the Department of Education, like USAID or USAID. Like, that's the problem. And for him to say, oh, he's not going to do anything. Are you that gullible, Sherman Michael? Are you that much of a moron? Or let's just be real. What you really are is an opportunist. You want to keep making a paycheck. You can't talk back to your dear leaders. You can't point out the obvious, because your dear leaders are going to spank you. This is why I call Republican men the weakest. They can't point out the obvious. The richest man in the world, he's not going to do anything to hurt the everyday person. The guy who wants to exploit Indian workers so that he doesn't have to pay Americans the fair wage. That guy? Like, are you that stupid? Trump is surrounded by a record-breaking 13 billionaires working in his administration. We're to think, MAGA, conservatives out there, you're to think that he's going to give you back this money somehow? All of these savings that they're going to do. How are you going to effing get this back? Again, don't tell me tax breaks, because the tax breaks, 90% of that, the last tax break went up to the top 1%. So if you get anything of a tax break, it's going to be crumbs, you idiots.
Quickly, by saying he's not going to do anything nefarious with it, you're putting a lot of faith in somebody whose stated aim is to move fast and break things. And when you move fast and break things in government, it can have a real impact on people's lives. So I think just asking the American people to trust that Elon Musk isn't going to do anything they wouldn't be comfortable with their personal data is a tough sell to the American
Democrats
people.
had 4 years under the Biden-Harris administration to bring up all of these things they're now complaining about: cost of living, housing, et cetera. They said absolutely nothing.
That's not
when
true,
eggs, gas, et
it.
cetera, was going up 20 to 50%. Kate, they said nothing to the Biden administration.
I just want to say, first of all, welcome to the CNN family.
Thank you.
I also want to tell people who might not.
They tried to push price gouging. This was one of the these guys complained and cried. Who do you think did? Republicans. Like, this guy is such bull crap.
Know that you just came from within.
Yes.
You worked in the Department of Justice for several years, so you are coming with fresh information about being inside one of these agencies that is very much on the chopping block.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I have to agree that, okay, fine. You want to make cuts? Make cuts. There are significant conflicts of interest when it comes to Elon Musk, and that is the problem. he owns several businesses where personal data and personal information could benefit his financial interests. And the sources that I've been talking to within the FBI are actually terrified that he is trying to put people within the FBI in order to advance his financial interests. One example of that is he wants the FBI to start using Starlink. So how frightening is that? The fact that he is putting people within
Starlink is his own internet company.
Which is his own internet company. He wants FBI to start using Starlink to start tracking people. Now, that is terrifying to me, that he's not acting, as Scott likes to say, on behalf of the president. He is acting on behalf of himself. And I think people should be very scared about that.
You're terrified that the FBI might have the internet? I mean,
I'm terrified. I'm terrified that Elon Musk is putting people.
Yeah, that's the argument she was making. They're terrified about the internet. Obviously not. Like, I don't even have to explain it. Elon Musk owns Starlink, you moron. Like, he's just so disingenuous. I don't get. They can find someone smarter than him. He just doesn't even have good arguments.
And federal agencies to figure out business opportunities for him.
I think
and
it's
you know
overblown.
that's true,
This
Scott.
is the richest man in the world. This man.
That's concerning.
And he's like sleeping on on the floor of a
That's his
government office
MO.
building
That's what
7
he
days
does
a
when he
week
breaks
in
all
order
of his-
to help this government. The spending is interesting. We're not going to balance the budget based on these spending cuts, although some of this stuff is patently, objectively ridiculous. And when I see Democrats rushing out to defend some of the things that, that he's cutting, I mean, it makes the Democratic Party sink to very low levels. But what I see him actually doing, and the most important thing he's doing, is enforcing the doctrine of common sense. This was the doctrine that Trump laid out in his inaugural address. What is the ideology of the Republican Party right now? It is best described as enforcement of common sense. We have uncommon nonsense on the left, and we have common sense. And when you look at what the government is doing, agency after agency, and spending some of our money, we're not going to balance it on a $79,000 grant here or there. But we are going to restore common sense, and that's the point.
Well, if Republicans were serious about balancing the budget, then they should put forward a tax package that doesn't explode the deficit. So if we want to have that conversation, we can have it.
Democrats
because
balance the budget
because
after 4 years
that is just not where the Republicans are.
You're for higher taxes then.
But I think that
you want to continue.
I'm for a tax code that doesn't explode the deficit and actually benefits working people and business, and not just the richest people. Like, by the way,
let the Trump tax cuts expire?
like Elon Musk.
You
By the
wanna
way,
let the Trump tax cuts
We're working
I think-
people benefit
but I also
after
think-
4 years of Biden and Harris? Absolutely not.
I also think, if I may, please, friends.
I want the tax code to be fair, meaning, again, I've mentioned this a few times in my videos. The tax rate keeps going up. If you make $12,000, you pay the lowest tax rate. If you make $150,000, you pay a higher tax rate. And then, guys, it just stops at like $600K for a couple, I think, or a single person. And then it just stops. So for whatever reason, the tax rate just stops going up. When you make $600 million, the tax percentage you still pay is the same as someone who makes 100 times less than you. It's so insane that this is never spoken about. And then the tax shields and the tax, just a bunch of crap that they do with donations to act like they're not making as much money. And it's just a bunch of schemy garbage. And all Elon Musk and all these other 13 billionaires are doing is trying to figure out a way to justify their tax break, because they're just going to make a bunch of money from it. And Elon Musk is just going to, I don't know what he's going to do. He's going to somehow screw us. And guys, I wanted to mention something. The party of common sense, are you effing kidding me? Angering our allies, our the biggest trade partners, 2 of the 3 biggest trade partners with Mexico and Canada, and these stupid tariffs. Like, guys, again, simple common sense will tell you this is going to hurt us in the future. When it comes down to we need them for something or some type of agreement or some type of trade deal, they have a right to ask for a risk premium because of people like Donald Trump. Like, hey, you Americans might vote for someone like Donald Trump again. That screws us. Like, these people are just so stupid.
I also think that this Elon Musk tirade through the government, while I understand the appeal of saying we're doing things differently, we're making cuts, people want to see smaller government, I understand the messaging imperative behind that, of course. I do think it is ultimately going to blow back. I think you cannot send somebody who, for all of his private sector brilliance, knows nothing about how government works in to take a machete to programs that protect people, that provide SNAP benefits, that protect them from overreach by credit card companies in the CFPB.
I will just say one. Go ahead.
No, I just quickly. I do think Democrats have to be very careful not to fall into a message that sounds like they are just knee-jerk defending institutions, because I do think that that's not going to be a winning argument. But I think that the impact on consumers here is going to be real.
This is the issue, though. Democrats do need everything. Trump is like the 80-20 president. He gets on the right side of all these 80-20 issues. Democrats knee-jerk and take the 20. And then what happens? Today, CBS News poll this morning, Donald Trump sitting at a 53% approval rating, the highest he's ever recorded in that survey. Why? Because Democrats are taking the wrong side of all of these obvious issues, number one. And number two, they're giving him an enormous amount of latitude to move fast and break things, which I heard used in a pejorative fashion. But when you're talking about the government, that's what people want
and Democrats
Trump to do.
Democrats continue to say we have all of these amazing, brilliant people in government that's going to make everything run effectively and efficiently. And for the average person, they're saying, well, hell, we've been looking at these same people running this stuff for years and years, and everything fails. Everything is in disarray. So disrupt it, shake things up, and let's see if we can have some reform.
Everybody stand.
What is he even talking about? He's talking such platitude. What is in disarray? What is going on here? And again, guys, this happens all the time when we get Republican presidents. After the economy crash under Bush, Obama came in, Democrat, had to come in and fix it and clean it all up and leave it nice and tidy. Economy was growing, and then Trump took over, and he disgustingly lied, played into the conspiracy theories in his party with the no mask things, having rallies. Over 1 million people died because of how unserious he took it. And he lost the election and had this country in a black hole because of that time for 4 years. Guys, thousands of lives could have been saved. Who knows how many? He's a weak man. Trump, I've said it before, he's a weak man. Instead of standing up and being a leader to his party and saying, no, guys, this is serious. Like he was talking on Bob Woodward on the phone and telling them. And then on that same day or the next day telling all of us, oh no, it's not that serious, not that deadly, it'll be over in a couple days. It's disgusting, and he's a coward. And he tucked his tail between his legs because he was afraid to lose that support. He's playing you. And all these government breaks, all these government cuts, it's all to benefit them. You have to be stupid to think 13 billionaires, the richest man in the world that's doing this. How convenient he put the richest man in the world to do this. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Please subscribe if you're not, and I'll catch you in the next one.